Good morning, Santa Clarita. Welcome in. You are listening to KHTS, your hometown station, 98.1 FM and 1220 AM. This is SCVi and iLEAD School's Eye on the Valley. I am your host, Matt Watson. Like I said, our show is Eye on the Valley. It is brought to you by SCVi and iLEAD Charter Schools. We are a network of charter schools with campuses in Castaic, Agua Dulce, Lancaster. We've got a fully accredited online school. That is right. Kindergarten through 12th grade, if you can believe it or not, are working online. They've got the support of full-time teachers as well as academic coaches and free tutoring. And so, yeah, our online kids actually oftentimes get more one-on-one attention than they would if they were on campus. And if homeschool is your bug, then we've got a burgeoning homeschool program called iLEAD Exploration. For more information on iLEAD Exploration, iLEAD Online, or any of our seat-based schools, visit us at ileadschools.org. So, like the show says, we've got our eye on education in Santa Clarita, around California, across the nation, but we've also got our eye on the Valley as well, bringing you everything that you need to know about what's what here in the Valley. And we do it all while having a little bit of fun. You know, I mentioned last week a little bit of a secret. I've got a rider in my contract with the boss that says I'm not going to do anything unless I can laugh while I'm doing it. But, you know, it gets me in trouble sometimes. But, you know, if you're not getting in trouble sometimes, you're doing it wrong. Well, good morning, and thank you for joining us. We've got a big show for you today. It's a busy show, going to be a good show. I'm really looking forward to today's show. We have got Valerie Bradford and Jeffrey Thompson from the Santa Clarita Valley chapter, the new Santa Clarita Valley chapter of the NAACP. They'll be joining me, well, they're actually, if you're looking at us on Facebook Live this morning, they joined me in studio. We will get to them in just a couple of seconds. Later on in the show, hour number 2, we'll check back in with Martha Spansel-Pellico and Chad Powell. They are directors, the new directors of iLEAD's founding school, Santa Clarita Valley International Charter School. And we are required by contract to blow those trumpets every time we mention Martha and Chad. So we will have our trumpeters here all day long. The school year is well underway, and they are settling in nicely at the helm. And of course, we will wrap up the show as we always do with Big T. You know, he always brings a lot of fun with him, so we'll play some trivia with Big T at the end of the show. So don't go nowhere. Pour yourself that extra cup of coffee. It is Friday. Settle in. I'm sure the boss will be fine if you get to work a little bit late today, or if you're on your way in and you're in the car. Just relax, slow down a little bit, drive safe, and turn up the radio, and let's open our minds together. My first guest today, as I said, have been working as part of the leadership team of the Santa Clarita Valley chapter of the NAACP since its recent founding this last summer. Valerie Bradford was born in the Pennsylvania capital of Harrisburg along the banks of the Susquehanna River there. She would soon head west, though, graduating from Douglas High School in Oklahoma City, home of the mighty Trojans, I believe, before she made her way to the best coast, that is the West Coast, attending College of the Canyons, where she graduated with a degree in small business management and entrepreneurship. She has now lived in Santa Clarita for over 15 years. She's a small business owner, a community organizer, activist, and volunteer, and the mother of 6, and unbelievably the grandmother of 14. And she recently made local history when she became the first African-American woman to run for the local water board. Valerie has now become the first president of the Santa Clarita Valley chapter of the NAACP. Valerie, welcome in.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning. And your partner, Jeffrey Thompson, grew up here in Southern California, the son of a Marine. Hoorah. He is a ride-or-die USC Trojan who played alto sax in the world-famous USC marching band. He majored in economics and business, and today he even teaches part-time with USC. After finishing his grad studies at SC, he moved his family to Santa Clarita. He's got tremendous experience as an executive in media and technology, working for 6 major corporations, including GE, the Walt Disney Company, and IBM. In fact, Jeffrey has the distinction of serving as the Walt Disney Company's first executive responsible for diversity and inclusion across the world as Vice President of Global Diversity. He serves on the Board of Advisors for Digital Hollywood and YDX Innovation, and is a member of the executive board of the Santa Clarita Valley chapter of the NAACP. Jeffrey, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
I love having you guys in studio, you know, with coronavirus, all of our guests used to come in studio. If you couldn't make it in here, then we would try to find another guest. But with coronavirus, we couldn't have folks in here. Started doing all of our interviews over the phone. Kind of got used to that. I think kind of like the business world when people set up meetings nowadays. It's really, do we have to come into the office? Let's just Zoom it, right? But I really appreciate you guys coming into the office or into the studio today. So
happy to be out of the house.
Exactly. Right. The other day I walked out to the car to go do a little grocery shopping and realized it had been 4 or 5 days since I started the engine of my car. We've all been stuck in our house, whether it's been forcibly or just by force of habit now. So let's get to this. Valerie, the local chapter of the NAACP was formed, like I said, just this past summer, so just a few months old. Can you tell our listeners about why this was the time that you and the rest of the folks that formed this chapter felt that it was best to found it? Why now? Why not years ago? Explain the rationale.
Sure. So, first of all, I'm not the one that founded it.
Okay.
It was founded, or the organizing of the branch was started by another resident, and it was started out of a personal need, where this resident experienced something at a school with her son that she felt she didn't have support for. So she reached out to another branch of the NAACP, and that ultimately led to our branch being founded. And why we think this is the right time, I think the proof is in the pudding. As soon as we announced that we were a branch officially, we began receiving contacts immediately. And these were individuals that were having experiences right here in Santa Clarita. They may have just needed support from us or a referral from us, or they may have wanted to actually share an incident of racism that they have experienced right here in Santa Clarita. So that confirmed that this was the right time, if not that it was too late, or that it was later than it should have been.
Sure.
So that's how we got started.
So what a beautiful start. The roots don't get grassier than that, than a single individual saying, I need something that I don't see, so let me reach out. Okay, there's probably other people experiencing things like I am, and so the community came together to form this system of support for each other. I love that. So go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, and the backdrop of all this is, when you take a look at every suburb like Santa Clarita, I've been here 21 years.
Right.
Every suburb like Santa Clarita across the United States is challenged with the same thing that all of us are, which is our suburbs are diversifying. And so it's more time than ever to start having conversations, to talk to one another, and organizations like the NAACP help us do that. And so, I have been here 21 years. I've never been active in organizations like this. And when I saw what they were doing, I jumped on it because it's something that's needed. I've raised my kids here. I love Santa Clarita. I love riding my bike here. All this stuff. I've really bought in. But we all have blind spots. And the things that we're focused on are things that, in many cases have been going on, but you just don't know. And so I think most good people want to see that, see the change.
Jeffrey, you mentioned blind spots, and that's really important. I think I've been here for quite a while myself. I grew up in the community, and you're absolutely right. It's almost like that frog sitting in the pot, right? You don't realize that things are getting hotter. You don't see things around you as others might. And it was funny when I got married from a woman who had previously lived out of the country and had moved here after we got married, that I started seeing things through her eyes and thinking, our community is a little bit different than I had thought it was. We've got some things to deal with. But yours is not just an organization that reacts to issues, that sits back and waits for the phone to ring and then jumps into action, but you're also very proactive. So let's talk about some of the things that, some of the plans or the goals that you have for our area. What has this chapter of the NAACP got its eye on coming up?
So one of our number one goals is to address exactly what you just said. A lot of residents, and we've been hearing comments, is that they don't believe that any kind of discrimination or racism exists right here in Santa Clarita. And what they don't realize is that the discrimination and hatred that's sweeping the country has not bypassed Santa Clarita. So one of our number one goals is to make residents aware. If they don't know something is wrong, then they can't change. They can't correct their behavior. So our number one goal is to make residents aware and to educate them.
Okay.
So to let them know that this is going on. They don't realize that there are neighbor-to-neighbor conflicts that are racial. They don't realize that there's hateful language that's going on between individuals. They don't realize it because it's not affecting them personally. So that is one of our number one goals, is to educate and make residents aware.
Okay. So let me help you maybe dispel a little bit of a myth or clarify things for those of us that may not know. Is the NAACP an organization specifically and exclusively for the African American community or the broader community of color, or does it get broader than that? Who participates? Who would work with your organization?
So it is, the NAACP was started in 1909, and it was started to advocate for African Americans. But we are the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People. And so that definition of the acronym means that we are advocates for all people of color. Okay. And we are advocates for their social and civil rights.
Okay, but I noticed on your website, you've got quite a spectrum. You guys run the spectrum of participants, even on your executive board.
Oh, exactly.
So there's all kinds of folks across the community that would probably just stand up and say, hey, we're looking to build a better community.
Our board spans the rainbow of colors in America and includes multiple of my friends and neighbors that would be considered white, meaning they are.
Yeah.
And so we are open, and we are growing together. And so anyone can join the NAACP, and we're delighted to have people that want to see us move forward.
And that has been the case from day one. The organization was organized by individuals that were not people of color. And so we've always had that support. The civil rights movement has always had that support. And we welcome that, and we appreciate that. And we are definitely glad to have everyone come together to make our cause known.
Absolutely. Jeffrey, you mentioned the phrase growing together, because that's what I see as you guys are talking. I've been on your website and read the mission and vision. It is about lifting up different sectors of the population, growing together, rather than singling out different segments of the population and pulling apart. It's making sure that everyone's needs are being tended to, and everyone has that opportunity to do basically what we all came here to Santa Clarita for, right? To live a more happy, prosperous, enjoyable life.
Absolutely. And there's one other thing that I would mention, and that is that the same things that are happening, the trends, the challenges that we have with diversity, and leveraging diversity for the good of our community, is the same thing that attracts companies like Amazon and Google and Disney to Santa Clarita. The companies, their workforces, their products, their audiences that they serve, they look